Alright, welcome back to The Beginning After the End. Anime Review, episode number 5. I don't think I closed it out. Where is it? Oh crap. Okay, so for this particular video, we're discussing episodes 9 and 10 of The Beginning After the End. In these two episodes, in the case of episode 9, it's mostly put a lot of focus on Lilia. So they kind of reveal stuff related to excuse me, like of why she's being kind of pushed to be a mage. Like they have a day where you have Arthur, his mom, Lilia's mom, and his sister go out like a little for a day while basically the older men basically just do their regular jobs. It's all really interesting, and of course a couple points basically they run into students from the actual academy itself. Yep. They run into the students' academy where first time they just see them, second time they there's also about this beast Monocore, and of course also Arthur's like, that won't exactly bring about your, bring about basically your power, per se. Yeah, it won't do that. So, he basically comes first a scheme to kind of have, because we come home, of course, basically the whole thing is our fight, and of course, Lily tells her parents she hates him. Arthur finds her and basically talks her into a reasonable conversation with her. Where then he basically sort of concocts a scheme where, like, she just left to go train where he went to train, and then reveal, she never actually left because of basically emotions revealed by her parents. So then he has Lilia and Ellie, his little sister, his cute little sister. Basically, before when they're in the room, he basically show off his magic. So he proceeds to have them both activate their magic. Basically, it's an awakening ceremony. And use some breathing techniques, and eventually activate no problem. Yeah. And wow, she becomes basically the start of her path to a mage, including Ellie, which I'm sure her parents are very happy with her with that. So then the very next episode is all focused on Sylvie, where she's pretty much a plot device for episode 10 of the series. Yes. Well, here's kind of what happens here. We start the episode off where, so Arthur wakes up, and basically I think he's playing with Sylvie, and you reek. So then he proceeds to bathe her, and this lady leads them leaving, and then of course, he gets a haircut. That's Lily's little shopping. I forgot to mention that. I know I'll mention it later. So then we have a day at the auction house, the place where Arthur's father works. We have security. We have the king visiting here. And at one point, Sylvie goes basically off someplace. Arthur goes to find her and comes across the court conjurer, who really wants to buy Sylvie from Arthur. He keeps saying no, and then somehow this unleashes blood rage, which causes mass hysteria, but doesn't cause any deaths per se, which is good. And the king, of course, basically thinks that Arthur should be punished for this. Despite the fact he technically did nothing wrong. It was Arthur's doing. Well, actually, it's more like the Conjurer's doing. And of course, he's asked multiple times, can you sell us your little mana beast, not knowing he's a dragon? He said no multiple times, and he asked basically posing a question, could you sell off your children? And that sets off the row guards, which in the webtoon, it was one guard who did this. In the anime, they had two guards do this. Arthur takes him out with ease. Then the Conjurer tries to basically have his way. Then Arthur proceeds to go to what the webtoon describes as void space, where he basically uses Sylvia, that's Sylvie's biological mother, using her intimidation, which results in the Conjurer breaking his leg. Actually, more like breaking his knee. And the king sees probably what's going on here, basically because also the soldiers say, like, you should basically not raise your head for that's for your betters. And I hear that, I'm like, that's freaking stupid to say. Like, it sounds like a complete bullcrap thing to say. Your betters. Like, this guy is just some this soldier is some arrogant soldier. Just because he has a nice pointy stick does not mean he needs to say that piece of nonsense. Anytime I hear this in media, I just groan. Because it's a stupid thing to say, your betters. Which, believe it or not, Linkara had basically the evil version of said this in the 10th anniversary storyline, referring to the thief who apparently he raised in another dimension. Apparently. And it's like, you should support your better. And that's what she later turns on him for it. Not immediately, takes a bit of time for that, but check it out, basically, because one of the Clone Saga reviews was really good. Actually, it was his previous basement he worked in. Yes. But in the case of, let's see. So, then, while this is going on, apparently he fell unconscious. Then he wakes up. His mom, which has Sylvia on her shoulder, which that's different. I think because Sylvia knows, oh, this is basically sort of her adoptive grandmother, because Arthur is her adoptive father, and this is her adoptive grandmother. Awesome. Though she, and the weird thing is, related to these two, of course, they go shopping, and for some reason, she doesn't refer to Arthur. We talk to like, oh, talk about your father. She just calls him by his actual name. Yeah, he does know his actual name. I just find this a little weird. Like, your father basically did this. And I'm like, I just think that's a little weird. The fact that basically, now, in most anime, they usually, when parents talk to their kids, basically, they know who they're talking about. Like, the father's talking about the mother, or the mother's talking about the father. But, like I said, I just find it weird that in a conversation with her own son, Alice is referring to, like, oh, Reynolds. Which, yes, the viewer and Arthur does know that's his father, but can't you say your father? I just find that it's a little minor thing. So, then he arrives home, where he meets with the king's representative. He gets some money, and of course the adventure's still there. And as an apology for the incident, yes, the first incident, the soldiers are fired, probably because basically to be complete dicks. And the Conjurer is removed from position and sent away. My guess is for threatening a child. Which I'm sure the king probably can't tell. At least it seems like the king is a reasonable person. Not people who work for him. They're complete jerks. And of course, basically, he gets some money. And they'll mention in the episode, but this will lead to him becoming an adventurer for the next couple years. Yes. But otherwise, though, 2 really good episodes. And I have just two more to go. And then we're done. Which I will be going to those next at my Comic Corner. Yep. So yeah, that's particularly a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, basically, is a Comic Corner, and it's right back to the last 2 episodes of beginning after the end. Okay, thank you. Bye.